Now, what I believe that these technologies are doing, they're creating actually this in your intensity of contact with your network. So it's creating new ways of communicating with the people you know, but at a lower level of intensity. For example, at the 50% might be a status update, either on LinkedIn or on Twitter or whatever medium, it doesn't really matter, which just says, well, I've changed jobs, or I've going to this great conference, and then, well, there's different types of there. And as you can see, these intense moments of contact are still there, because I believe these online media will never replace your offline meeting face-to-face, but it's an additional layer, and it will load your offline contacts. Because next time, after 3 months, if we meet each other again, we're not starting at the zero, but we already had some contact. I know what's going on with you. I can relate. I can take this hook and talk about it. So that's with the people you've already met. But imagine all these contacts that are your previous classmates, your former colleagues, people you once met at a conference. These are people that, in the old days, you wouldn't keep using the intense ways of contact with. You simply don't have the time. Mind the first title explanation. You don't have the time to call them all the time or meet with them face to face. Well, you do have the time for a certain amount of people, but not with all these vague people you've once met. However, if you now stay in touch with them in these digital platforms, if there's, in the end, there is a need to get a more intense contact. So all of a sudden I see you've moved companies, you work at a company that I want to do business with. I can now phone you or call you and we meet in person, and we don't have to start at the zero. Our relation is already loaded with content because I know what's up, what you need, what you're doing, where you are. So that allows me to, well, it's a different type of relationships. Now, what does it do? Let's talk numbers. Research has shown that our human brain is basically capable of maintaining relationships of about 200 people. So from 200 people, we can remember who they are related to, what they do in our network, where we've met them, what's up with them, are they sick, are they fine, are they in organizing an event. But your network is not really those 200 people that you can keep track of, but it's the 200 people that they know, because your network, that's in one step again. So if we're going to multiply those numbers, you're going to get 200 times 200. So in the old days, your network would exist of about 40,000 people that are in one step reach of what you need. Well, these are all people that, again, can help you out with knowledge, with creativity, with relationships. Now, what this technology does, as I've just shown about these new ways of communication, they're going to enlarge your capability to keep in contact, because instead of these 200 people, you're going to put some of that network maintenance, some of that keeping track, you're going to put that into the technology, because people have profile pages or they send status updates. And in that way, we might all be able to not keep track of 200 people, but keep track of 300 people. And all these other people might also be able to keep track of 300 people. So all of a sudden, my network has expanded from 300 times 300, 90,000 people, which is more than 2 times the original value. And in the end, if you're a real social media adept like myself, and you're really active on these networks, and I'm able to manage 400 or more contacts, and these people still act, as I always say, normal and are able to manage 300 relationships, the numbers add up. So my network might be 120,000 people or more. You know, LinkedIn visualize this. It shows you the second grade in your network. And these people are fairly close, because you both have a relationship in common, you know someone, so this relation is loaded with trust. It's not a total stranger, it's an easy way to get access to. Well, keep these numbers in mind. Because then the question is, if I realize that my network is so large, and that these are all people who are selling what I want to buy, who are buying what I want to sell, who have the answers to my questions, how am I going to activate them? Well, in Holland, we have a concept, and I tried to translate it. It's a bit strange. It's called, well, for all you Dutch people, it's called Durf te Vragen. It's a hashtag, so it's a tag that people put in their Twitter accounts. If you would translate it, would be called Dare to Give, or Dare to Ask, I mean. And the philosophy that's behind it is that those people say, well, if you do not make explicit in your network what you need, then your network will not be able to help you. So you have to dare, and they actually challenge you, to make explicit what you need. Dare to ask. For example, in your status updates, in your mail, in the context, tell me what you need and I can start thinking about how I can help you. Maybe a clear example is, imagine that you're in the little nest with 6 little birds, your 6 little baby birds. And your mother bird is coming with this big worm, and you depend on that with food. And 5 of your co-birds, they keep their mouth closed. And you're the only one opening your mouth. Who will get the food? Obviously you will. So it's a strong point to remember. But, however, there is a drawback. We all feel that you cannot simply start daring to ask your network, please help me with this, please help me with that, because people get tired of you and won't work. So that's why I've actually invented the Dare to Give. What you should start from today in your network is explicitly start giving away. Start sharing. Start loading your network with everything you can miss. And then you'd say, well, that might cost me a lot of money. No, it won't. Because what will you give? You will give and share your knowledge, your creativity, and your relations. This is your so-called social capital. It doesn't cost you time and it doesn't cost you money to share these. Because your knowledge is in your head. And if you see someone post a question that you know the answer to, it takes no effort to share them the answer. This creativity, it's already in you. If you see someone with a problem that you just solved, it's no effort to share with them. And the latest category, your relations, please start sharing your relations. Because in that way, if we all start doing that, we're going to make our network stronger and stronger, because all the people around us are going to be more interconnected. So people are easier to know what we're up to, what we need, and how we can help each other. If you share a relationship, you see that someone that you know has a question, and you know someone that has an answer, and you connect them, and it's a relevant connection, and they do good business out of that, it's a +1 for you ×2 in the network, because the person who had the question thinks, I'm happy to know him because now I got my solution, and the person who had the solution has a +1 because now they've done business. So dare to give. That's what you do.